Citizen Television.
And welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev, your host, and this is for the weekend beginning with Friday the 16th, take two. And we're in a place right now where the sun is in Aries in both the sidereal zodiac as well as the tropical zodiac. And since this is April 16th, this is 105 years ago today is when the Post Office Rebellion, the uprising, took place in Ireland, and Irish people gained their independence after a lot of pain and bullying from the UK, and but they're holding their own. The Celtic tiger lives. Looking at the sky today, I would see the moon in the constellation of Taurus, but it's getting closer to Gemini, and the part of Taurus it's in is a lunar mansion known as Mrigashira. Now, Mrigashira's ruling deity is Soma, and Soma is like the nectar that comes out of the moon. It's really like another name for the moon. And Mrigashira is ruled by Mars, and half of it's in Taurus, half of it's in Gemini. Now, in Western Zodiac, we'd say we've got a moon in Gemini. The Mrigashira moon, though, it's about wandering and curiosity. Mars gives us courage. It also wants to get rid of evil and be open to other possibilities. Mercury's about curiosity in the Gemini part. And Taurus wants sensuality, so it's a pretty crazy story. And even whether you did go with the story of the father who lusted after his daughter, the daughter turned into a deer and ran away, father turned into a stag, Shiva cut the deer's head off. Mrigashira, deer's head in the sky. So sometimes you can look at the moon and see like a deer's head or a rabbit's head. That's kind of the Mrigashira notion. The other one is about Jupiter's wife, Tara, was kidnapped by the moon. Either kidnapped or seduced, raped. There's so many different stories about this particular thing. But in any event, there was a pregnancy that happened, and the child born was Buddha, who is it's actually a Sanskrit name for Mercury. So there's another story that actually relates somewhat to Mrigashira as well. So this is for today. That's what this moon. Tomorrow the moon will be in Ardara. We've got a moon in Western astrology, tropical zodiac, going into Cancer on Saturday at 12:25 p.m. Definitely a good fertile moon for planting, people getting their starts together. Moving ahead on Monday, on the 19th, we've got the sun moving into Taurus at 1:33 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So Monday, moon goes into Taurus. 4:20. It looks like we've got a moon in the constellation of Cancer, actually in the tropical sign of Leo. And so I imagine it's going to be, because things are opening up too this week, it's going to be a rockin' 4:20, I suppose, as well. So all in all, here we go with your horoscope, sign by sign, starting with you, Aries. So, greetings, Aries, and welcome to your horoscope. So one of the things I noticed that's going to happen this week is Mars is moving into the latter degrees of Gemini. And so it's getting away from the north node of the moon. So a lot of this kind of ungrounded anger that people have had lately, what's really weird is like people seem to be very mad at people that are unwilling to take the shot, the mRNA shot or whatever it is, and yet I've seen and yet it's an experimental shot. It's not proven, so people are concerned about their safety because there have been some bad reactions. You know, it's fuel for the people that are supporters of big pharma in the alleged pandemic to be as angry as possible and be completely unreasonable and irrational. I find that, and even bullying to those, because some people's got really bad immune systems and have been advised not to take the shot and other different factors. So it's like, don't judge people. You know what? Don't judge. Just keep your mask on, because you're going to have to do that even if you get the vaccine anyhow. And now the next news is that people who've gotten the vaccine are more vulnerable to the variants for some reason, more than those who haven't. So, surprise, surprise, surprise. Yeah, well, it's sad, but you know what? I think the stocks of Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are still doing good, so you stockholders have nothing to worry about. Oh, this is all for good. I mean, it's like, it's weird. Everybody wants to be a hero, and it's like, why can't we just be normal people and support each other? And I think with the sun going into Taurus this week, we're going to find things more peaceful. Now, for you, Aries, things turn the tide towards finances. So, greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. Finances are in. Family issues are in. Things that affect your teeth, your jaw, your lower mouth, maybe even getting a new set of glasses. All this could happen. Mars in Gemini continues to give you a sense of courage, and it's a good placement for it for you. So that's good news. Next week, Mars is going to be debilitated. So any actions you wanted to take, take it now. And yeah, and so I have a feeling deep inside, but sometimes it's best to keep your feelings to yourself. Oh my God. Mercury. Mercury is in Aries, or it has been, but Mercury goes into Taurus on, well, let's see. It should happen on, I believe it happens on Monday or Tuesday. And no. It happened already. Yes. It happens on Monday the 19th at 3:29 in the a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So, you're finding your voice, Aries. And with that said, we move it on to Taurus. Okay. So greetings, Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, usually my Taurus friends are pretty cool-headed. So they're not, getting too jacked up about anything. But Mars in the first house, in the second house rather, you could be a little bit sharp with your voice. That's all. But I would say, like, as we get into the weekend, it'll be a good weekend for you to see friends. Venus now in Taurus means you're looking good, and so that's irresistible. And Uranus is still in your first house, and Venus and Uranus, of course, are going to be relatively close to each other. And that hasn't been like that for a while. And that's exciting. So this is going to inspire unusual love relationships, especially since, things are opening up a little bit more. People are taking risk, and that's, that's okay. That's just the nature of people. Taurus, you're feeling more creative. I mean, I think your karma is going to get better, and all those dark days of being part of your own undoing are gone. Okay. So, greetings Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope. So Mercury is moving signs. Mercury goes into your 12th house. I would say the next 4 weeks, keep a dream journal. You may have some pretty wild, outrageous dreams as a Gemini. So looking at your dreams is not a bad idea right now. You've got the discipline and the curiosity to expand yourself with higher knowledge right now. So this is where you put your thinking cap on. This is where you get a little bit smarter. And people are going to listen to you. But it's also like we're starting this week a 12th house transit of the sun. My last 4.5 weeks. And it's easy to have losses during this period. It's easy to be a part of your own undoing. What's the remedy? And this is the important thing to ask, is when there's challenges, what's the remedy? The remedy for 12th house transits is to go to an ashram or a monastery or get out in a wilderness area. Now, since the lockdown, I've noticed so many more people are out in nature. And in one way I feel like that's great because people are learning to love and appreciate nature. And it's really a heck of a better vacation than Disneyland or Las Vegas, I'll tell you that right now. It's much more relaxing, it's renewing, it's organic, it's real. But at the same time, all these people pressuring nature, getting off trails and things like that, they're newbies. They don't know how to treat the environment. So, if you can encourage people, Gemini, to treat the environment good while you're out there hiding from the world, that would be great. All right. So, greetings Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope. So, the moon is going to go into Cancer this weekend, and it's a great moon for getting in the garden, hanging out, and enjoying whatever festivities. Cancer gets along really well with Taurus as far as both of them are considered to be relatively nurturing signs, because the moon gets exalted in Taurus. Now, in the Western Zodiac, moon will be in Cancer, from Monday afternoon at 12:25 p.m. till early, it goes void of course on the 19th, and then at 2:11 a.m. or something like that, or 1 it goes into Leo at 11:11 p.m. 11:11 p.m. Monday night. Don't you love that? Leos have to love that. Cancers can feel whatever way they want about it. It's really interesting, Cancers, because you look at this part of the sky, that upper part, that's the public. This is more where you're seen. This more has to deal with, your karma, other people. There's really no planets going to be in Aries once the sun gets out of Aries Monday. So it's more like your social life is starting to bubble over, and we're finally out of that, all those changes we went through last week. It's getting a little better. It's getting a little easier, and just breathe, relax, take a hot bath if you need to. All those things are good for you. And with that said, we can move it on. Yay, boo-boo. To the sign of Leo. Greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. Aries time is generally a good time for you. You vibe really well with the fire signs, and so you've had a lot of experiences of success. And the sun moving into your 10th house this week, the house of career, the house of public duties, the house where you show your talents and skills, that's not so bad. A lot of you like to show off your talents and skills, and this is going to be a good week for it. Plus, on 4/20, the moon goes into Leo. And so, I imagine the raucous demonstrations. If you're one of those unfortunate souls, or fortunate souls, depending on how you look at it, I guess if you're in the black market, you're a fortunate soul to live in a state that has prohibition, as long as you don't get caught, right? And And if you live in a state that's legal, you're fortunate you can get it fairly easily. And the quality of the product, I suppose, continues to go up. And, you know, it's another way that people like occupy their time or entertain themselves with something. I've heard the Israelis done a lot of, I guess, cannabis research, and they say that it can, if you're a real chronic user, it can hurt your decision-making ability. You know, so there you have it. Otherwise, what I'm seeing for you is just more work, and there's definitely a different style of the way you look at relationships right now. And relationships for some of you are very disposable, you know, because most Leos really love themselves and everyone else comes second. Oh boy, well, here we go. Greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. So Mercury's moving into Taurus. That's your ninth house. That means that your communication is going to be about higher things. You're going to want to talk about religion, other cultures, travel opportunities, maybe talk about the history of people having, certain kinds of passports, identifying their religion or ethnicity, and now, medical situations or whatever for people. It's very interesting, And, with Uranus in your ninth house too, and Taurus, it's definitely, Uranus was in the ninth house back in World War II when there was fascism. And so nobody should really be surprised about this. The sad part, I think, is really that we could be manipulated by Big Brother saying, we're here to protect you, and we're going to take away your rights. But you do what we say and everything's fine and the same. Even if it hurts you a little bit, it's not going to hurt most of you, and so everything's cool, okay? Just do what we say. Does that sound good? Evidently it does to most people, so you keep moving on with that. I don't know. Yes, I know polio is terrible, and so is smallpox, but that's not what they're putting inside people right now, okay? It's interesting, though, what we're seeing here for you, Virgo, is that higher knowledge, new opportunities, relationship with your father, relationship with your teachers, those increase during this period, and that's something to look at. Okay. All right, let's go to Libra. Greetings, Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. So, we've got Venus now in Taurus. That's your eighth house. That means that your love life could intensify. We've got Mercury in your eighth house. So, studying the occult, studying astrology, trusting your intuition more. If you feel like a procedure isn't going to be good for you, a medical procedure, and maybe sometimes you're scared and you shouldn't be, it could be good for you. But maybe in your gut you're like going something, your intuition, don't do it, okay? Just wait, That's what I want to say, is just wait and just be safe, Hide yourself if you have to, and I think that's fine. Another thing is, we're moving out of the 7th house period into an 8th house period. So, Libra, don't be expecting yourself to be in control of this game right now. Other people's power really counts for the next 4 weeks as the sun travels through Taurus. And it's a different trip, Libra's a little bit more negotiable. It's going to change its mind. Once Taurus sets its mind on something, there's not as much negotiation. So that's the difference between these two Venus-ruled signs. But the thing about Taurus is you don't have to deal with all that wishy-washy BS that comes with Libra. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a pain. It's a pain in the arse. So and that way you could learn something from Taurus and gain it. And the truth of the matter is, Libra, and this is what you'll like to hear, is every one of us is every sign. Every one of us is every sign of the zodiac in our chart. So making stereotypes about signs, it's fun, but it's not always accurate. Okay, so greetings, Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. Yeah, I get that. So we've got Mars in your 8th house. That's kind of intense, but it's going to leave there pretty soon and go in your 9th house. Oh, that's exciting. That means that travel is going to open up for Scorpio. Wow. I like that. And then we've got Venus, Uranus together, the Sun. These are strange times, and we're probably going to see some unusual stuff this week. Revolutionary actions and people asking, about picking teams is okay as long as you have good sportsmanship. But games that involve fights to the death, I just don't like those. They're not fun. And consequences hurt a lot of people. But right now, Scorpio, you're a lover, you're a sweet talker, and if you've been in a dry period for a relationship, this is the time to put yourself out there, because in the next few weeks, you got a good chance of getting some of that love vibe coming on your life. And a lot of things are about negotiating with other people right now, which isn't always easy to do because there's so much pent-up anger and also pent-up hope. And I guess when variants affect people that feel like they've done the right thing to be safe, they can easily lose themselves. Oh my God, not now. Yeah, it's like, okay, The truth of the matter is we're never safe. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Jupiter still there with Saturn. But, Jupiter in Aquarius has... it's gotten a little further along. It's not in that... it's getting closer and closer to Pisces. So there's more of this vibe of possibility starting to open up. That we're not locked into logic and just what is. With our imagination, there's more possibilities. And so we can open ourselves up right now to more possibilities. And for you, those possibilities are more in your community, among your siblings, among old friends. They're among the people you relate to, your neighbors. It's about taking short trips. And one of the things I've really enjoyed is getting to know your area within 300 miles all around you. Those are all places you can easily get to in a day through, vehicle travel. And there's usually some kind of beautiful part of nature, no matter where you live, even if you're, in the Great Plains and states like Iowa or Nebraska, there's still some beautiful places to see, even in places like that. So it's like opening yourself up to that possibility that beauty is all around you and that we need to use more of our imagination. And if beauty isn't all around you, do something to make something beautiful that makes it worth coming to where you live. Okay. So, greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. This is great news for you because, the deal is nobody wants to be locked down, and this is an opportunity for you to get out and show yourself and be real about your values. Be real about things that might affect your neck, your throat, your teeth. Be real about supporting your family. I had a couple of men that were players in my band, or one person that had shot video for me for a while, and they really weren't taking care of the kids they made, and I found that just sort of appalling. It's like, dude, that's not really good, but I think a lot of times, I guess in some ways, it can be forgivable. If people love you anyhow, it seems like it's forgivable. But at the same time, when we think of things like, toxic masculinity or whatever, how many of these people even had a loving father in their life? I mean, that's usually where the whole thing starts. So if you can be a loving dad or a loving stepdad, step it up, be there, Capricorn. You're getting a lot of insights, and, most things are pretty introspect, but this is like your creative week. This is like the week to open up your heart and realize that good things are happening, and it's a great time to be a Capricorn. Better than ever. All right, so, greetings, Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, in tropical astrology, in the Native American tradition, Aquarius is the otter, and Taurus is the beaver. And I've always wondered why Aquarius and Taurus get together, these fixed signs, it's like, what the heck? What does Saturn want to do with Venus? But I mean, we have to realize that Saturn's exalted in Libra, and so even though Taurus isn't Libra, it's Venus ruled. And so they have this orientation of both having planets that are ruled by air and earth. And so that's why Mercury planets, Mercury signs, Venus signs, Saturn signs tend to get along with each other. That's the factor. That's an elixir that you don't talk about as much commonly in Western astrology, but it's something worth looking at. As far as like money goes, it's really uncertain. Investments. With Neptune in your second house, I wouldn't do anything too risky. As far as your own life right now, it's all about family, home, fixed assets, finding your own personal happiness and your own personal peace. And if you do that, everything's going to work out so much better. I mean, you're owning this with Saturn and Jupiter in the first house. In fact, you have a lot more wisdom than usual. All right, so here we go. And greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope. There is really nothing to fear except fear itself. And that was said by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, otherwise known as FDR. And I think Jesus said that perfect love casts out all fear. So try to be loving. Try to be compassionate. Open yourself up to the eye of that rather than being fearful. I find that fear leads to anger and depression really quickly, and isolation. And I also find that people often like to bully others in groups. It's so weird. I'm part of a team. I hate somebody. I mean, we definitely saw that with the last president. It's like, oh man, I hate him. Do you hate him too? It's like, it's a hate club. Let's get together and hate somebody. It's just like, how freaking weird is that? And what it really comes down to is being reactionary. Don't do anything anti. Do something pro. What do you want to see? I don't care about what you don't want to see. Make something good, You want to be healthy, keep taking the vitamin C and, and zinc and D3 and quercetin and drink your green tea. And maybe if things, get a little dicey, you can do some thyme or some androgophilus. There's things out there. This is all about you, Pisces, this week. And you can make a difference because you have an imagination, you're empathetic, you're creative. Get everybody together. Don't make people all or one, all or nothing, because we're all going to be through this together. And enjoy yourself as things are opening up. I'm so happy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the bell notification. Love your comments. Look forward to being with you again next week. Planetary Persuader, KozMcKev, signing out.